Hello and welcome to another wonderful round of overanalyzing underanalyzed media. My name is Space Powered Isaac, SPI for short, and I'll be your guide for the next couple of minutes. Today we're going to discuss something, while being very recent to me, a lot of people have been very into, sometimes too into, for a very long time. And that's Five Nights at Freddy's, FNAF for short, as I will be calling it in this video, and specifically Security Breach, the latest installment in the series. We will be discussing what all the false endings indicate, if they have any relevance at all, and what the true ending really means, what the overall deep, dark secret of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach actually is. There is a large spoiler warning for this entire video if you haven't picked up on that yet. Without further delay, let's do that thing my dad says I do way too much, and talk it to death. The premise of all FNAF games can be oversimplified into either a child murderer avoiding the ghost of the children he's murdered that possess the animatronics at his place of work, or said child murderer becoming an animatronic antagonist himself. It's obviously a lot more complex and nuanced than that, with a complete timeline that's worth a study, but today we're going to look at the newest and chronologically last entry into the said timeline, FNAF Security Breach. Security Breach takes place in a large Chuck E. Cheese-esque megaplex, named the Pizzaplex. Ambiguously evil, crazy-eyed rabbit fursuit girl is being influenced by the ghost of famed child murderer William Afton, the one mentioned earlier, into killing children to use as experiments to bring him back into a physical form. Spoiler alert, it works. You only ever see that in the true ending, but it is hinted at mid-game. I'll quickly go over each false ending, the ones that are not canon and therefore not technically true to the plot, and what they mean. The first one-star bad ending is attained by simply leaving the Pizzaplex at your first available opportunity. In it, Freddy tells you that it will never be safe here and that you can never return. You end up sleeping in an alley and Fursuit Jennifer's body catches up to you, presumably to kill you. You die regardless. For obvious reasons, this non-canon ending doesn't add overall plot. All it does is establish that Vanny, the crazed rabbit, is willing to and capable of leaving the Pizzaplex on the prowl for children to sacrifice to the PVC demon god William Afton. The next ending is the 2-star, goodish but still not canon ending, where you get a level 7 security clearance and exit out of the docks in the back. You escape with Freddy, and the Pizzaplex operates as normal, with a new animatronic replacing him as the center man. Not super consequential, a little bit of a feel-good at the end there, but it does highlight that nothing will change in this world unless you are the agent of change for it, and that the Pizzaplex really should have an age requirement upon entry. There is a second 2-star, ambiguously okay ending, reached after exiting from the prize counter. It's called the Unmasked ending, and ends with a Die Hard-like scene where Freddy tackles Vanny off the burning building to reveal her face as she dies. The building burns to the ground, and we see Vanny's face under the mask. It looks much like the Vanessa that we know and hate. But we do see Vanessa at the top of the building looking at the carnage wreaked by Freddy and Vanny below. Some people believe this means that Vanny and Vanessa are simply two separate people with a similar face. However, it is much more likely that that is simply Vanessa's ghost, as ghosts are canon in this series, while her corrupted body Vanny has just been killed. This non-canon ending shows that even winning has a cost, and that very likely a new Pizzaplex will emerge from the ashes, like a phoenix with overpriced refreshments and a ball pit. The last non-canon ending is the disassembled ending, and it is by far the most gruesome, but the most wholesome. It requires that you find Vanny's hideout at some point during normal gameplay, and select the Vanny option instead of leaving. Vanny instructs the boss to disassemble Freddy, and they're largely successful, taking out our himbo father figure. Gregory makes his way to her hideout, and to avoid being attacked in a moment of sheer panic, commands the boss to disassemble Vanny the same way he saw her command them to disassemble Freddy, with the voice control, an option that probably needs some tweaks for who can and cannot command an army of murderous robots. The bots do successfully disassemble Vanny, a gruesome business, and Gregory makes it in time to hear the saddest and most endearing last words I never thought I needed to hear from a video game animatronic bear. You are my superstar. This ending adds a little to the overall theory pile, but it's an emotional roller coaster and should just be appreciated as such. The final ending is the one our theory comes from. It's the true ending, the canon ending, and therefore the hardest one to obtain in-game. You must defeat and maim a sexy chicken with an eating disorder, a glamrock fox with self-esteem issues, and a crocodile gembro with an inferiority complex. After you've taken out the big three, you remove their voice box, eyes, and claws from each respective animatronic and venture into the basement's basement, a FNAF homage to an earlier title with Burn Trap, the reincarnated Apton that Vanny/Vanessa has brought back to life via human sacrifice and plot armor, serving as the final true antagonist of the game. At several points in the ensuing fight, you see Apton trying to take over Freddy, which causes him to exclaim early on, "He is not me," rather powerfully. This is where my big brain theory comes into play. What's Apton's goal? He is not directly involved with the Pizzaplex kidnappings or financials, and he was only loosely involved with the current transpirings that led us to our plot. So what does he get out of all of this? Upon being questioned about Gregory early in game, Freddy tells Vanny that the default voice on the Fazbear watches are his, which makes perfect sense, as it would not be very cost effective to give full connection to a sentient AI to every single visitor. So yes, it's just a voice in the watch. Freddy is not being deceitful about the nature of the watch. It does have an automatic voice that sounds exactly like his, but he is using the walkie-talkie feature to communicate with you throughout the game. One thing didn't quite add up as I was following along with Markiplier playing this game, and that's why Freddy was surprised when you attacked his friends. After all, he's the one who gives you the instructions on where to find and how to defeat them with the express intent of using their bodies to upgrade Freddy himself. So why is he surprised and deeply disappointed to find out you're injuring his friends who are under Apton's control when he was the one who gave you the knowledge in order to do so? Well, simply put, I do not believe he told you to do it at all. I think this goes all the way back to the one who started it all, the purple shirt menace, Burn Trap, Glitch Trap, Scrap Trap, Spring Trap, William Apton. He is the one who directs you to destroy these animatronics and to harvest upgrades from them. Things that would make the perfect predator. A voice that can confuse prey, eyes that can see through walls, claws that can shred all obstacles, and a body that feels familiar, looks familiar, with room enough inside to store a corpse. William Apton is instructing Gregory on how to build the perfect killing machine, on how to upgrade Freddy into the perfect trap. The entire game, for you, was about escaping the Pizzaplex, but everything you experience and all these things that lead up to it subtly urge you into creating a perfect host for William Apton. Every time the word trap has been used in this context, it means a soul, the host or vessel for William himself. He has been upgrading with the times. Every generation of bots or incarnation, to include VR, he is there on the cutting edge of being the ghost involved with it. It stands to reason that when these robots are given full sentience and ability to wander the facility, that he's going to want a slice of that pie for himself. It also tracks the "he is not me" rhetoric that you see. William Apton has been consciously trying to invade Freddy to make him his host, but it's not quite ready yet. In the process of making him the perfect predator, he's also given him corrupted/infected parts from the Glitch Trap virus that has infected Vanny/Vanessa. He is slowly chipping away at the armor that is Freddy's caring soul to make him the perfect host, so he may continue his child slaughter. It's a pretty short and concise theory, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate your support. That's all I have for today, and I appreciate you listening if indeed you have. Consider subscribing to my channel below, leaving a comment, liking, sending hate mail, the whole 9 yards. If you do it, I'll appreciate it. So one last reminder to everyone who watches my videos, you are my superstar. Until next time.